I am continuing my reading. What I'm doing in this series is to read through the entire standard works of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. This consists of the Bible, the Book of Mormon, the Doctrine and Covenants, and the Pearl of Great Price. I'm reading in a chronological order of events, not according to publication or volume, so I will be skipping around a bit as I move along. We have been reading about David's conquests and wars against other nations, Philistines, Ammonites, Syrians, all that good stuff. And we return now to 2 Samuel, this is chapter 11, as to what is going on during these wars. So, David lies with Bathsheba, and she conceives. He then arranges for the death in battle of her husband Uriah. And it came to pass, after the year was expired, at the time when kings go forth to battle, that David sent Joab and his servants with him, and all Israel, and they destroyed the children of Ammon, and besieged Rabbah. But David tarried still at Jerusalem. Now you'll recall, this David's tarrying is mentioned in 1 Chronicles, that he tarried at Rabbah. So this story is taking place during the siege, during the war that we read about in Chronicles 20. I think it might have been 19, but I think it's 20. Let me double check that. Yeah, in Chronicles 20. This is taking place at the same time. While Joab is leading the army, David is in Jerusalem. Verse 2. And it came to pass in an eveningtide that David arose from off his bed and walked upon the roof of the king's house. And from the roof he saw a woman washing herself. And the woman was very beautiful to look upon. And David sent and inquired after the woman, and one said, Is not this Bathsheba, the daughter of Eliam, the wife of Uriah the Hittite? And David sent messengers and took her, and she came in unto him. And he lay with her, for she was purified from her uncleanness, and she returned unto her house. And the woman conceived, and sent and told David, and said, I am with child. So here we have David's first great sin, his adultery with Bathsheba. I will point out here, briefly, Eliam, her father, as well as Uriah the Hittite, her husband. These are both listed among David's mighty men. So, she is the daughter and the husband of two of David's closest associates, two of the men that David has been traveling with for decades. Verse 6. And David sent to Joab, saying, Send me Uriah the Hittite. And Joab sent Uriah to David. And when Uriah was come unto him, David demanded of him how Joab did, and how the people did, and how the war prospered. And David said to Uriah, Go down to thy house, and wash thy feet. And Uriah departed out of the king's house, and there followed him a mess of meat from the king. But Uriah slept at the door of the king's house with all the servants of his lord, and went not down to his house. And when they had told David, saying, Uriah went not down unto his house, David said unto Uriah, Camest thou not from thy journey? Why then didst thou not go down unto thine house? And Uriah said unto David, The ark and Israel and Judah abide in tents, and my lord Joab and the servants of my lord are encamped in the open fields. Shall I then go into mine house, and to eat and to drink and to lie with my wife? As thou livest, and as thy soul liveth, I will not do this thing. And David said to Uriah, Tarry here today also, and tomorrow I will let thee depart. So Uriah abode in Jerusalem that day, and the morrow. And when David had called him, he did eat and drink before him, and he made him drunk. And at even he went out to lie on his bed with the servants of his lord, but went not down to his house. So let us look at a couple of things here, first of all. The question is, King David's walking on the roof. This is a very common practice in the Middle East to capture the breeze at evening because it's very hot there. Almost all houses have flat roofs, so there's almost no snow, so you don't have the weight to worry about. And you go up there in the evening to catch the cool breeze. So that's what David was doing. Now, here, he brings Uriah back and he tells him to go back to his own house. He's hoping that Uriah will sleep with Bathsheba and they can pass off the pregnancy as Uriah's. But Uriah won't do it. He is an honorable man. He says, my men are out there fighting. How can I go back to my wife? And so now David has to come up with another plan. Anyways, verse 14. And it came to pass in the morning that David wrote a letter to Joab and sent it by the hand of Uriah. And he wrote in the letter, saying, Set ye Uriah in the forefront of the hottest battle, and retire ye from him, that he may be smitten and die. And it came to pass, when Joab observed the city, that he assigned Uriah unto a place where he knew that valiant men were. And the men of the city went out and fought with Joab, and there fell some of the people of the servants of David, and Uriah the Hittite died also. Then Joab sent and told David all the things concerning the war, and charged the messenger, saying, When thou hast made an end of telling the matter of the war unto the king, and if so be that the king's wrath arise, and he say unto thee, Wherefore approach ye so nigh unto the city when ye did fight? Knew ye not that they would shoot from the wall? Who smote Abimelech, the son of Jerubasheth? Did not a woman cast a piece of a millstone upon him from the wall, that he died in Thebes? Why went ye nigh the wall? Then say thou, Thy servant Uriah the Hittite is dead also. So the messenger went and came and shewed David all that Joab had sent him for. And the messenger said unto David, Surely the men prevailed against us, and came out unto us into the field. And we were upon them, even unto the entering of the gate. And the shooters shot from off the wall upon thy servants, and some of the king's servants be dead, and thy servant Uriah the Hittite is dead also. Then David said unto the messenger, Thus shalt thou say unto Joab, Let not this thing displease thee, for the sword devoureth one as well as another. Make thy battle more strong against the city, and overthrow it, and encourage thou him. And when the wife of Uriah heard that Uriah her husband was dead, she mourned for her husband. And when the morning was past, David sent and fetched her to his house, and she became his wife, and bare him a son. But the thing that David had done displeased the Lord. Now, I'm not going to get into a lot of detail on this right now. I will do a supplemental video detailing my thoughts about the story of David and Bathsheba after I read chapter 12. But I do want to say this, that just to clarify, the reason why Joab was worried about David getting angry is because David wanted him to send Uriah into battle and then withdraw all support, and therefore Uriah would be the only one to die. Joab figured this would be too obvious. And so he went and he had Uriah and his men go up against the city gate. Now an army did come out, a contingent of the Ammonites came out of the city and fought outside the city, but they were close enough to the wall that the archers could shoot into the battle. And that's what killed most of the Israelites. It wasn't the up-close battle, it was the archers on the wall. And that's what Joab was worried that David would be mad about, was that they got too close to the city. But apparently, knowing that Uriah was killed, David is mollified in the fact he says, okay, fine, we won't worry about it, but don't do that again, just end the battle as soon as you can. Now, there is a little bit more of the story, of course, in chapter 12. We will be reading about Nathan revealing this wickedness and the aftermath of it. There is also in 1 Chronicles, I believe. No, I was wrong. No, 1 Chronicles does not talk about this particular event. Matter of fact, I don't think we're going to be going back to 1 Chronicles for quite a while, because the story of Bathsheba and the aftermath of this great evil is not covered in Chronicles. It kind of skips over most of that. So, I will see you in chapter 12 and look forward to the supplement that will tell you what I think about this whole story.